Here's one. Look at the size of that one. It's as thick as my arm.
We've moved west into the Coral Sea to look for true sea snakes. There are more than 50 species of these reptiles in the world, and most of them are here in the South Pacific Ocean.
We're about 70 k's out in the middle of the ocean. The nearest land is a very small coral cay, and it's only about half a kilometre wide. Now, why this reef is so thick with sea snakes is because there's no birds of prey. Their only predators are sharks.
Unlike kraits, the true sea snakes live their entire lives at sea. They hunt, breed, and give birth, never touching dry land. Their only link with the world their ancestors left is the need to breathe air, and that's when we're able to spot them. If we take them out of the water, sea snakes can be highly defensive and extremely dangerous, so the only way to appreciate their true beauty and unique way of life is in the water with them.
Have a look at this little beauty. Gorgeous species of sea snake. Now you can see, I can actually gently manipulate them and they're not too bad. But if I grabbed hold of it, it'd spin around and bite me.
These breathing trips to the surface are when they're most vulnerable to predators. The snake knows it, and anything we do now might be seen as a threat.
He's just getting a breath. You watch, he'll dive down now.
Sea snakes are champion deep sea divers. Some can dive at least 300 feet and maybe even be able to reach 500.
They can stay under the water for hours. Me, I'm an air-breathing mammal. I got a maximum of 2 minutes.
This one's a Stokes sea snake, and take a look at that flattened body and tail pushing it through the water down to the bottom where it likes to hunt.
The deep is just where the sea snakes like it. They cruise along the bottom, probing, searching, foraging for their food, and they use their forked tongue as their sense of smell, just like a land snake.
Stokes sea snakes grow to be the largest in the world. They are the bulkiest of all the sea snakes, huge. Whalers, they're known to attack, and they've been stimulated by sensing some of their normal food, the sea snake. Those jerky movements mean the shark's in attack mode, and it really is time to get out of the water. Now there's a pack of them, and that's when they're at their most dangerous.
I don't mind sharing territory with the sea snakes, but sharing territory with sharks is something I don't take too lightly. I'm in their playing field, and I like to be really, really careful. I find the sea snakes very unintimidating, very uninclined to bite, and if I'm careful and I'm able to manipulate them, they're not too bad. If I grab them, they swing around and grab me, which would almost be as bad as a shark bite.
With sharks around, snorkeling makes Steve vulnerable to attack each time he surfaces. So it's time to change to scuba gear so he can stay near the bottom. An abandoned fishing net, something that's more dangerous to marine life than most of the predators down here. It's a real hazard for sea snakes. They forage along the bottom, and if one gets caught, there's no way it could get back to the surface for air and it would drown. This little death trap's going back to the boat. Sea snakes spend their entire life in the ocean. They give birth to live young rather than laying eggs. The babies are born, they surface for their first breath of air, and then they're on their own with no parental care whatsoever. Sea snakes are exceptionally curious. They often head straight for a scuba diver's face mask. That's because they can see their own reflection. They think it's another snake and they want a closer look. plenty of divers have panicked, and when they get rough on the snake gets rough on them, and they can be bitten. The fangs are long enough to push right through a wetsuit. This girl's copped a nasty bite to the tail, and we can see she's carrying a good load of barnacles. They get rid of most of these passengers when they shed their skin, but a few persistent ones always manage to hang tight.
Sea snakes often get their tails bitten and barnacles grow on them, which is no great drama because they use their entire bodies to swim with. Here's another species. Let's go and have a look at it.
It's an olive sea snake, one of the more common species, and one that's had a lot of bad reports for attacking and biting. Though when you look at the evidence, almost all the so-called attacks have been provoked, and the snake's just been defending itself the only way it can. A bite could be deadly, and if they're angry enough, they'll bite repeatedly and inject venom several times. The venom's designed to kill its prey quickly before it swims off and dies where the snake can't find it. When he eats this fish, it will be swallowed whole, going down head first so the spines and fins don't catch in his throat. One of the reasons sea snakes can dive so deep and stay down so long is a remarkable ability they share with some turtles. They absorb oxygen through their skin and get as much as 1/5 of their needs directly from the ocean. Another olive sea snake senses the kill. He tastes the water with his tongue, a powerful sense organ that tells him exactly what's happened. He's definitely curious, but he's not going to attempt to steal the other snake's kill. You should always try to avoid sea snakes, but if you do encounter one up close, it helps to understand their behavior. Mainly, they're just curious, and if they satisfy their curiosity, they'll usually just move away. But if you panic and start pushing or grabbing them, curiosity can turn into a defensive attack. Even an accidental touch with a diving fin can be enough to provoke a bite. Steve loves them. He has spent his entire life around sea snakes, and he knows just how far he can go. And unless you're that experienced, no one else should deliberately try to get this close. Steve knows the touch they'll like and when they'll bite.